whether or not to get involved with Mission Serve, I strongly encourage you to do so. The people at Mission Serve are some of the best people you will meet. These mission trips that they have, that they organize. These types of trips will change you for the good, and it'll leave you with lasting memories.
It will.
and meet friends that you'll have for a long, long time. And so I encourage you to get involved with Mission Serve.
Great. Hey everyone, this is Kevin Lofton, and I'm here from Buckhorn, Kentucky, and I'm with Richard, and he can introduce us of what he does. So Richard, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Kevin. So my name is Richard Wilson, and I serve as the Chief Development Officer for Buckhorn Children's and Family Services.
Okay. So Richard, you said you've been here a year. To kind of explain to what you do as a Chief Development Officer here.
Yeah.
And what your
So I lead our fundraising efforts for the agency. Then I also head up our public relations and media relations, but then also community engagement with the surrounding community of that's around Buckhorn, and then that's around Pine Ridge, where Desi Scott campus is.
Okay. And you've been, I was just trying to think, what else do you do? So some of the questions I was going to ask you is that then you're here a year, I got two big questions. So what is your most memorable moment or moments that you've had in the past year?
Yeah, so two come to mind. The first one is in December. Each year, the boys at Desi Scott put on a Christmas play. And so getting to experience that and get to go to that this past December, just seeing the boys up on stage telling the story of Christmas was unbelievable. Just seeing their personalities come out and getting to showcase themselves up on stage was great. And then the second one that comes to mind is I was invited to give a sermon about 2 months ago at a church here in Lexington, Mount Horeb Presbyterian Church. I'm not a preacher, and it was my first time giving a sermon, so it was a little nerve-wracking, but it was great. Just getting to tell the story of Buckhorn, what we do as an agency, the programs that we have, but just telling the story of hope, or giving a message of hope to that congregation, is something that I won't forget.
Okay. I noticed that you came here, and you told me a little story earlier that you had a different type of background.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, so what actually brought you to Buckhorn Children's Family Services versus where you came from?
Yeah. So Kevin is referring to my background in lobbying and government affairs. I did that for 10 plus years. Did a little campaign work right out of college, but then got into actual government affairs work in Nashville and then in Frankfort, Kentucky. It's different than working at Buckhorn Children's and Family Services, but working here is different, but in a good way. I just felt a need for change, and this opportunity presented itself, and it was something I couldn't pass up. It almost felt like it was pushing me to Buckhorn, and I'm super grateful and glad that this opportunity came my way. This past year has been great. Awesome.
Now you live in Lexington. Would you be willing to at least move to Campton, or I know you don't want to move to, that's something.
That's a good question. Probably not, and I say probably not because my wife is from Lexington, and her entire family lives in Lexington, and so I highly doubt that she wants to leave her family because we have 2 young kids, and my in-laws have 3 kids of themselves that are around my kids' age, so I highly doubt my wife would want to move out of Lexington, so got to keep her happy.
Oh yeah, I understand that. Now, actually, another question. This is probably a little more difficult. So, what was the most difficult situation you've ever had to deal with here,
Um,
or problem that you had to work with?
yeah. I would say it's not really a problem, but I would say not being able to tell the individual stories of the boys at Desi Scott. For confidentiality reasons, we're not able to showcase or show their face or go into a whole lot of detail about their story, which I get, but I wish we could tell their stories, because each of their individual stories is remarkable. A lot of them come from broken homes, or where their family is just not able to give them the care that they need. If for those of you that don't know, a lot of the boys at Desi Scott are either severely developmentally delayed or have autism, and so they need a special type of care. And I'm glad that we're able to provide that for them, provide a family atmosphere for them. But yeah, I wish we could tell their individual stories.
Yeah. Well, it's been a blessing to work with somebody like you who's willing to take a huge different change.
Yeah.
What I would ask the people who are watching this is that if you're really interested in, I know you have other programs here at Buckhorn, such as foster care, and they need foster care,
Yeah.
or any other type of volunteer work. We're at Mission Serve. You can contact us. I will give you the links below to that Buckhorn and Mission Serve. Also the number if you have a. But if you, how can you contact somebody, or is it or at the foster care if there's a family that's willing to help that out?
Yeah, visit us at buckhorn.org, and we have tons of information and contact information for those of you that are looking for. Or for those of you that have questions about our programs, or feel free to call me. I'll give Kevin my contact information, and he can put it at the bottom of the video. But Kevin, you touched on something just a second ago. If you're on the fence of whether or not to get involved with Mission Serve, I strongly encourage you to do so. The people at Mission Serve are some of the best people you will meet. These mission trips that they have, that they organize. These types of trips will change you for the good, and it'll leave you with lasting memories.
It will,
and meet friends that you'll have for a long, long time. And so I encourage you to get involved with Mission Serve.
Great. Thanks, guys. I will definitely put that out there.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.